Available. Start recording checkbox not checked.
Alright, I should be live. Hopefully it's titled correctly, because I did click manage stream. Let me actually see.
Windows 7 notifications present. No desktop. Start window. Microsoft Edge. Microsoft. New tab. Up 40. Login page. YouTube busy. Click blank. Click visit search and log search edit blank. Button search. Clickable button search with clickable button create. Clickable button notification blank. Clickable menu button sub blank. Abrupt link. Clickable link view your channel. Clickable link view. Banner landmark. Click navigation land. Explore more from YouTube main landmark. Clickable clock is back. Clock stream arrow. Visited. Main Microsoft. New tab. Up 40. Login page. YouTube busy. Click blank. Click visit search and log search edit blank. Shift plus clickable button search with clickable button create. Clickable button notification blank. Clickable menu button sub blank. Abrupt link. Clickable link view your channel. Clickable link view. Banner landmark. Click navigation land. Explore more from YouTube main landmark. Clickable clock is back. YouTube tab control. Tap or paste. Hook into web. Tap or paste. Enter button alt plus E.
Entering chat.
Clock is back. Clock stream message history list unknown.
Alright.
OBS 30.1.2 profile untitled scene. VTube row 1 column 2 2 3 MUS OBS 30 VTube column 2 live chat dialog clock is back. Clock stream message history list unknown. OBS 30 VTube live chat dialog clock. OBS MUSH clan MUSH clan blank.
Alright, we got a thing going. Looks like we got chat in through VTube. Glad to finally have a usable chat service. Now, I like Restream, don't get me wrong, but like this is a lot more I don't know, streamlined and all, so we'll probably do that from here, because I'm only going to stream on YouTube. I don't intend on streaming on Twitch. So I don't like Twitch that much. Yeah, I'm a YouTube guy. That's what I am. Alright.
Cooked meat. Food. Ingredients.
Cooking some meat, and for those who are listening to this and not watch, or for those who are listening to this and not watching, you know, that's great. But for those who are watching, this is a mug, so no actual like pictures and stuff. So hopefully you guys don't mind. It should work out in a pretty decent way for those who like this kind of content. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. Let me actually post on Masto.
Desktop list OBS task home pane. List with downloads 2 of 7.
Actually,
Taskbar desktop list of TW Blue.
It's funny because I actually have TW Blue. I use TW
Number questionless address in breaker. I didn't think it did. Well, not for that anyway. We need your help dialog if you like TW. No button now pressed. Live chat dialog clock is back. TW Blue. Preview level 0 rook talent at Dragon's Cave. Space. Live chat dialog clock is back. MUSH clock blank. Ready. Post 0 of 3000. C. Space YM. Zero VH chat and in CO can YouTube chat CO O come streaming close OK button MUSH clock edit blank.
All right, here we go. All right, we're in a good place. For any of those who see this, I sincerely hope that there's at least a few people that come in chat and stuff, because I want to test this.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and set it aside. You take some seared bear meat from a copper skillet empty and put it into your lavish laced gold suede backpack. You pick up a copper skillet empty and put it into your lavish laced gold suede backpack adorned with small diamonds open.
So we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty excited. So Clok, for those who don't know, Clok
already
has been
standing
down for like over a year now. And
you can out.
Recently just come back.
You can out.
So,
You can go that way. You can north.
About this.
You can up in.
It's been a long time since I've played Clok.
You can north woodland.
Honestly, when I played Clok, it was honestly the game for me. I just
adding to movement QW. You can west.
Really enjoyed it. You know, I missed it. You know, I'm glad it's back.
You will continue to
and I cannot tell you how.
Great. I made it in Kansas. Muted happily giggles. That was fun.
Also, it's funny because I mean I roleplay mostly, you know, because this is a role-playing game, and
You
the
found some kind
roleplay
of deer nearby. You can hunt.
was a lot better in
You stop
Clok
hunt.
than anywhere else, and so
You focus on the.
I got into playing Clok when I was
You continue to track your.
about 13 or so, and I've just kind of been playing since then.
Star, you are
Kind of
winded.
a thing for me. It's been about that long, honestly. I don't really even remember when I started playing, but all of my memories, all my good roleplay memories, have been kind of tied up in Clok. So it's been a good time, and stuff. So
You
I mean,
continue to.
I've really enjoyed it. Things have been going pretty well, um, and stuff. So that's been a good time for me. I mean, I've really had a good experience, and so I'm glad it's back. Because it was a lot. It has been, and it was very creative at the time, and so I had a lot of good experiences for
You
that
continue.
also. So. Right now I'm currently hunting, and I will show you guys
Number 2 star wished.
the weapon I use. It's not a sword, it's not a flail,
Number 2 star wished just logged in.
even though that is my favorite type of weapon.
You continue.
Yes, I know, like, for all those people who are into medieval stuff, flails are very controversial and stuff. But I don't know, I like the idea of a spinning weapon, just, I don't know,
You fully reflect.
it does something to me. It's very,
You continue.
it's a very creative type of weapon. I don't know. I couldn't have thought of it myself, but man, whoever did was a genius. Man. As long as you don't hit yourself with it, though, at least. So, there is that too.
You continue to track your prey. You're real close now. You should be upon your prey in a moment.
All right, here we go. We got stuff to do here. Hopefully, in a couple seconds, we'll find ourselves with a stag or deer.
F-Prey, a negative entity muted. Happily exclaims. Diving in the lake. F-Prey, a bright cyan entity muted. You continue to trap your prey. You sneak up on a Tony Brand and hiding nearby. Now.
All right, stag, here we go.
In time left 10 with snake.
Sorcery time.
In time left 10 slash out from you. D. Output a Tony Brand tab stealthily moves west. Clock edit woodland up. You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself. Plus 0.015 perception practice. You discover a Tony Brand tab. You gesture at a Tony Brand tab. A riding mass of income left tendrils. Out. A Tony Brand tab stealthily moves east. Clock edit. Woodland up double. You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself. You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself.
Let's see. If
You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself. F-Prey, a large entity says, oh, that does sound like fun. You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself.
Oh, looks like he was.
You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself.
Honestly, I probably.
You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself.
And just.
Due to the interference of your armor, you are unable to main. You release your channel.
No.
See. You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself.
Aww.
You parse wrestling up WLDP. You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself. F-Prey, a bright side. Add into movement QSW. Woodland up WLDFRDT noon miles. Obvious pass west north. You take a bite of some seared thermite retrieve. You shift to acid input. You are well fed 99%.
And this is why you don't shoot from range while hit. Because your quarry will still be there, hidden. Even after you shoot it, it won't reveal itself. So it's like, what? Shouldn't it be revealed if you shoot?
Plus 0.0148 perception practice. A Tony Brand tab stealthily moves east.
Oh.
You quietly get to bow throttle cruiser. In time left. Cast at whom? Couldn't find any matches for tab. Space. You carefully search the area while attempting to keep out of sight yourself. Plus 0.0. Cast at whom? Couldn't find. In time left tendril lash out from your form. An in time left tendril lashes at a Tony Brand tab. 22 never damage, 88% head. A Tony Brand tab shudders. Energy plus 43. You notice a Tony Brand tab trace the attack trajectory and spot you in your hiding spot. A Tony Brand tab springs out from a hiding place. You are driven from your hide. You gesture at the top of right tab. A small ink left on it. You managed to stay at the top of right tab's melee range. You gesture at the top of right tab. You managed to stay at the top of right. A solid run tab heads west. You must wait. You head west. Incline left tendril lash out from your form. An incline left tendril lashes at the top.
Thank you for the energy.
You gesture at the solid run tab. A small incline left on it surges toward.
That's it. That's more like...
Release what?
Yeah.
Release what? F-cast tab. R. F-cast C. F. Grasping your ivory skull talisman firmly in hand, you gesture at the corpse of a solid run tab and send tendrils of never to probe its blood for any remaining soul shreds. You feel a sense of resistance, but it soon breaks to your will. With a second gesture, you command the tendrils of never to grab the soul shred from the corpse of a solid run tab and drag it back to your ivory skull talisman. The tendrils swirling about the talisman momentarily before sinking into its surface. Energy -10. You release it.
Heal your soul.
You sit down. You are well fed by the expert.
Not as quick as Shang Tsung does it, but quick enough.
KS. Your current energy is 217. You are well fed 86%.
You gotta watch out for your hunger. A tired warrior is a dead warrior. So you know you gotta watch out. You can't just be going like, oh, I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna deal with it and not eat anything. Nah, you gotta eat stuff. So it's important.
Streaming number look on my YouTube channel. Come in and chat. HTTPS. Notifications. Docu54 has boosted. Streaming number. Blank. Hunger. Blank.
It's important to manage your hunger because you won't have any energy if you don't. In an old Clok, you actually used to die if you didn't have enough energy. You literally actually would starve to death. But here, it's not like that anymore, which I kind of like, because but there's not much of a consequence for your hunger. The only consequence I'd say is you know, if you get injured, you won't have you know, suitable amounts of energy for you to go back and heal and stuff if you don't have any bandages. So you gotta watch out for your hunger, otherwise you're not gonna be in a good position. You're gonna be in a pretty bad position, especially if you get injured. Like if you get hit like really hard, yeah, you're gonna bleed all over the place and it's not gonna be good. So watch out for your hunger. That's an important stat right there. Also, sorry in advance if you can hear the air conditioner. We just got an air conditioner, so we're actually using it.
You've fully reflected on your recent experiences and are ready to learn from new ones. Your hands are empty. You are aware. Your current energy is 500. You will continue to silently repeat this action until you specifically stop or are otherwise prevented from continuing. You skin some deer antlers from the corpse of a top. You stop skinning the corpse of a solid run tab. You sit down.
I bet you it doesn't go that quick. Like I bet you, like, if doing it for real will probably not go that quick. I saw a video of a person butchering and cutting a deer and all that kind of stuff, and it took like an hour. So you know, there is that too.
You feel fully rested. You stand up. You will
Yeah, it took like an hour.
You butcher a chunk of raw meat from the corpse of a tawny brown stem with your broad-bladed iron knife with a wire-wrapped hilt. You put a chunk of You butcher a You butcher a chunk.
This has 40 pieces of meat. I'm gonna sell all of it.
You butcher a
I'm gonna cook it and sell all of it. Because it makes a lot of real.
You butcher a chunk. You butcher a chunk. You butcher a chunk of You butcher a chunk. You butcher a chunk of raw meat from You butcher a chunk. You butcher a chunk. You butcher a You butcher a chunk of You butcher a chunk. You butcher a chunk.
You wouldn't believe how much a bison makes as far as meat.
You butcher a chunk.
Problem is, bison are super hard to.
You butcher a chunk of
Huh?
You butcher a chunk of
What's out? What happened? What happened? Wait, what happened? What'd you say? What is out? What is out? What'd you say? No, you're fine. You know, it is what it is. I'm not one of those streamers that like cares if like someone else.
You butcher a chunk of raw meat from the corpse of a tawny You butcher a chunk of raw meat from the corpse of a tawny You butcher a chunk of raw meat from the corpse of a tawny brown stem with your broad-bladed iron knife with a wire-wrapped hilt. You put a chunk of You stop butchering the out. You swing back. You put a chunk of raw meat into your legislate go. Clok. You have the following matching items. A chunk of raw meat in a drawstring livered skin satchel open X23. A chunk of raw meat count top. Butcher stem. You will You butcher a chunk of You butcher a chunk of raw You butcher a chunk You butcher a
28.
You butcher a chunk of raw
Yeah, we're gonna be cooking all this meat.
You butcher a chunk
We're using all of it, so it's very important.
You butcher a large bone from the corpse of a tawny brown You stop butchering the corpse of a tawny brown stem. You remove a large bone from the broth. You drop a large bone. You have the following matching items. A chunk of raw meat in a drawstring livered skin satchel open X23. A chunk of raw meat in a legislate gold suede backpack adorned with small diamonds open X17. Some seared hair meat in a drawstring livered skin satchel open X3. In total, you have 43 matching items. Space. F-O-N. Look at what? You see the out there, the yep, area. You take a Clok X bone large X7. You could potentially butch Clok. You bury the corpse of a tawny brown stem. You head east, Rattle Reserve, Woodland at, add into movement QC. You head southeast, Woodland Road at W. Add into movement Q, Token.
I wonder if the koi dog
You
would
head-
like bones.
You head through, you head
I feel like we should be able to.
You head into the heart. Using your unhandled scrub brush, you work at washing your gear at a copper tube sink. Your soft fur gloves, cuffs, and loose white wool shirt are now clean.
I feel like we should be able to give the koi dog bones, but okay.
Ingredient.
Alright, cooking meat. 40 to go. It'll be worth it though. It's a lot of real, believe me, it really is. It's like 4,000.
Two 23 p.m. You've fully reflected on your recent experiences.
I like to think of these like big pieces of like I like to think these like these skillets like are holding like huge steaks of meat, not like small pieces. I'm thinking like just massive chunks of meat for cooking and stuff. Sorry if this offends any vegetarians and all that, but it is what it is. Yeah. I'm definitely not Leonardo da Vinci, I can tell you that much. Who actually, if you didn't know, was purported to be some kind of vegetarian at some point in his life.
You remove a copper skillet from a lid cooked meat. Ingredient.
Best part is he actually got to see his fame too. He got to see his. He got to see. I feel like a lot of artists and like different creators and things like that never have a chance to actually see how famous they are until either very late in their lives or they may never even get a chance to see how famous they are. And, that's kind of sad when you think about it. Like you created all this stuff, you didn't pop off very much, at first, but never getting to see how famous you actually are, that's kind of sad. Not that I'm famous or anything. I you know these artists, they do hard work, man. They make things happen. Definitely not a painter myself, though. But if I were, I think I'd be all right at it.
Cooked meat.
All right, waiting for the first one to cool down here. We'll see what happens.
Clean gear. Nothing you're wearing. Clean cooked meat. Ingredients. Meat. Blank.
It does take a while for these to cool down. Like it takes like 2 minutes to cook and stuff. So.
You remove a copper skillet. Ingredient.
Yeah, we got 38 of these to go, or 39 of these to go. It's going to be a long process. I mean, you got to be patient with this kind of stuff. Alright, here we go. Just waiting for it to cook, waiting for it to happen. Should be an exciting time. Oh, by the way, I thought about doing this. I've been getting into Minecraft lately. Now I don't really know what I'm doing. Half the time I'm kind of wandering around, not even going in. Like seriously, like I'll go to Minecraft and I'm like, how do you even build anything? Like, how do you even like place a block or like a piece of wood in a place for you to actually start building like a floor or some kind of piece of land or something like that, like a house, like even a floor. I want a wooden floor. I want a wooden floor. I want some, you know, wooden stuff. I want it to echo a little bit. I want my house to echo a little bit. But no, I can't get that yet because I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to build anything. So honestly, for any of those people out there who play Minecraft, how do you even build stuff? Like I don't get it. Like it doesn't make any.
You
It
remove a
doesn't
copper
make any
skillet.
sense to me.
Cooked meat. Ingredients.
Like, it doesn't. Genuinely, it makes no sense to me at all. Like you have all your stuff in your inventory, but that doesn't really help me when you don't know how to build stuff. Like, I can craft like a pickaxe or whatever, but like it's not the same as building an actual, structure. I mean, how do you build a structure? There doesn't seem to be anything. There's no like structure builder or anything. There's no like construction builder or anything. There's literally just your inventory. That's it. So what is this? Well, I don't know. I could just be dumb. I have no idea. I could be dumb. So I mean, I'm curious. I will say though, the one thing I did manage to build that you could call it a quasi structure is a boat. I built a boat. Uh, I was living the boat lifestyle for a while, but I got bored really easily. I was like, man, I want to mine. I want to actually go in and mine. But no, because you can't really build anything. It doesn't seem like it anyway. It doesn't. There's no intuitive way to build. But I could be dumb though. I don't know. I just don't know. So hopefully someone will see this and will be able to give me some insight on this, because I literally have no idea. I could just be an old man, but you know, I'm definitely curious though.
Ingredients. You remove a copper ingredient.
God, why is it every time I do these like streams and stuff, like normally it takes 2 minutes to cook, and it takes the same 2 minutes, but it feels like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I'm like, what is this? Has it really only been 2 minutes? Damn. And then I'll go off stream and it'll feel like 2 minutes. I'm like, okay. I guess. Well, I'm giving this an honest shot. Honestly, I would stream like retro games or Mortal Kombat or whatever, but I didn't really feel like playing anything, like as far as Mortal Kombat or anything, uh, and stuff. I just didn't want to do that, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just stream Clok, and it works out. Someone might watch this at some point and be like, hey, that's cool, that Clok is back. Someone who didn't even know that Clok was still around. So I like to think I'm doing a service.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit cooked meat. Ingredients: meat 1/1 a chunk.
I like to think that. So they have like this game has flapjacks, and it's funny because I'll have those occasionally, but I'll never have syrup on them because I hate syrup. And it's not even because of the taste either. Literally, syrup is okay. Problem is, every time I have syrup, every single time, without fail, every time I've had syrup, I've messed my clothing up. I'm like, I gotta rewash my clothing just because this shit is literally, I got syrup on my clothing? What is this? Even though I like the taste of syrup, I'm like, it's not worth it if I'm gonna be messing up my clothing every single time I have it. I'm like, dude, I gotta rewash my clothing again, man? Like, I literally just did that. I literally, okay, I put on a piece of clothing, like I put on a piece of clothing like I did like 10 minutes before. I'm like, oh cool, it's clean and everything, right? I go to the cafeteria at my university, right, to have me some pancakes and stuff, and okay, I'll have some syrup. 10 minutes later, I'm like, what is this? I literally messed all my clothing up now. I have to rewash it again. So I don't like syrup for that reason. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I really should like it, but I can't because of the mess I make. You know, it's not worth it. And it's happened so many times to me, and I'm like, after like 5 times, like
Number
someone
2 star artifacts and dust.
to me, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. The number of times I had to rewash my clothing, man, after having syrup spilled on my clothing because I mess it up. Yeah, no.
Cooked seared meat. Ingredients. Meat 1/1.
So, you know, having the flapjacks in the game.
Leonian Universe, you live on Twitch also?
No, I am not. I am a YouTube streamer only, thanks. No, I like Twitch. Twitch is okay, but the interface is a little bit wonky, I'm not gonna lie. Like, every time the only thing that makes it less wonky is the app, but I don't want to use the website, because the website is kind of shitty. Like, honestly, you go in, and you can barely play anything, because half the time it's like, intended for certain audiences button. What do you mean intended for certain audiences? Okay, I guess it's not for kids, but could you just put a warning on it and not make it, like, not play? Like, couldn't you just press the button once and be like, oh, okay, and then it goes away and you play it? Even if I'm logged into Twitch, it still does the same thing, and I'm like, what is this? I'm literally 24 years old. I know it's intended for certain audiences, but come on, man, it should be just based on age. And you have my birthday in your system. Why the hell aren't you just literally like telling me, oh, okay, intended for certain audiences, just go away? No, I have to press the button and hopefully it plays, but most of the time it doesn't. So no, I hate Twitch for that reason. Among a myriad other reasons as well. YouTube is a lot better about certain things. The website is far better. The interface is far better. I already pay for premium. Why the hell am I going to be paying for Twitch? Apart from the people I subscribe to, if they don't even fix their website. Like, seriously.
Cooked seared meat. Ingredients.
That's my main.
Number 2 star arcane bonus logged in.
Twitch, and it doesn't go away. It literally every single time I think, oh, it's gonna go away. It's gonna be just fine. Then the second I go to the website, I'm like, man, you guys haven't done shit to your website. You literally just haven't done anything to your website to make it better. You're making it worse. But I don't know. That's just me. That's just my own take. You could say different. You could say, oh, Twitch has a better paying scale. Twitch has easier requirements for you to be a partner with them. Okay, maybe. You could say, oh well, Twitch is a lot more friendly with certain things like restream, and you can put sound alerts on your videos or put sound alerts on your Twitch so you can actually have an experience like that, like an actual chat experience with like sounds and stuff for different things like subscribing and all that kind of stuff. Okay, true. I honestly, I kind of wish YouTube had that, but they don't that much. At least I don't know anything of that can do that. Honestly, though, I'm just happy with YouTube. Like, I use YouTube all the time. I rarely, if ever, use Twitch. I use Twitch for the people that I watch who aren't on YouTube, and I'm like, I just want to watch their streams. But I don't use Twitch that much other than that. I don't explore anything. I don't really listen to new creators because it's not really. I don't know. I don't get into that kind of stuff.
You remove a copper skillet from a cooked seared meat. Ingredients.
Half the time I'm wondering to myself, like, Why are you even on Twitch? You know what? You could just be on YouTube where everyone goes. Like, I'd say 99% of the population, 85% of the population goes. And I was like, okay, you're already on YouTube, so you might as well stream on it. Okay, well then, let it have streaming. So, for those reasons, I stream on YouTube exclusively. So I don't want to deal with Twitch. All right, I don't even know how many I haven't counted. I actually lost count of how many of these we actually cooked, but it's probably less than 10 at this point, though. Probably less than 10. Less than 10, and probably better for it, and stuff. So I don't know. I'm glad for that.
Toxic meat blank.
Honestly, like I love being a smaller creator, type of thing. Like I watch these very large creators, and the cool thing about them
You
is
remove a
that they
copper
have
skillet
so
from a
many
lit 30.
subscribers.
Toxic meat.
The
Ingredient.
problem I have is like, look, how are you gonna keep up with everyone talking to you? Like literally every single time that these creators they go in, they have like thousands of people watching them, streaming and stuff. And I always wonder, how do you keep up with all your YouTube stuff? Because it's like chat after chat after chat. I mean, you're like, I'm blind. I can't see the chat window scrolling up and all that kind of stuff. So I gotta get all my chats from TTS. And with as slow as the TTS is, it's gonna be a minute before I can get even close to the bottom of the actual chat window type of thing. So I'm wondering, like, how in the world do like the big creators answer chats? Do they just answer donations and that's it? They don't bother with chats. They're like, oh well, you're not paying me, so fuck off. You know? Is that how it goes, or do they actually genuinely like answer, more than just donations? Now I understand to a certain extent why you would answer just donations, because first off they are paying you, so there is that incentive there to answer your donation chats and all that kind of stuff. And especially if you're a big creator, you're like, okay, well, uh, I gotta keep up with all these chats. There's like hundreds and hundreds of chats coming in. I gotta be selective about what I answer to. But at the same time, it's like, uh, shouldn't that be more about interacting with your user base than just answering those who paid money to, put a message in there? And because a lot of people, like, I understand, like, some people are like, they're unwilling to pay for that a message to go up
You
there.
remove a copper.
Maybe they're
Toxic meat.
just can't.
Ingredient.
I used to be and still am in the situation where I kind of have to be sparing about the kind of stuff I put out there as far as like donating to different creators and stuff like that and stuff. And so, for me, I'm like, okay, if I pay, I'm more likely to get my stuff answered. But I'm like, what if I post something interesting? What if I post something interesting in the chat, and it starts a conversation, but you didn't see it because you're more focused on the people who donated. We could have had a great conversation if you just, you know, looked at, the chat window for more than a few like seconds to see the conversation, rather than seeing the dollar signs that are there. That, oh, they paid me, so I'm just gonna answer their chat. So, that's my view. I'm like, yeah, it should be that way. Like I understand that like if you paid to get something out there, you should obviously have something for that. But just because you didn't does not mean that you shouldn't, you should just outright ignore those people who didn't pay to have their stuff put up there. But maybe that's just me though. I could be dumb. I could be like, okay, well, I have no idea what it looks like. For all I know, there could be like a red or brightly colored mark or something that says, "Oh, this guy paid for it." So you only see those if you're looking at the screen. You only see those first. So of course you're gonna respond to those. So that could be it. Or maybe the list changes, and the only things that you see are those who paid. That you see them first, type of thing. That it scrolls up so that you see them first. I could be wrong about that. I
You remove
really
a
have
copper
no
skillet from a
idea.
lit cooked meat.
But
Ingredients. Ingredients.
from my perspective, I'm like, maybe we might have an interesting conversation. Who gives a shit if you paid for the privilege of putting your message out there? You know. But I do understand with hundreds and hundreds of chats going in every day, every like a good minute, basically nonstop chatting happening. If you're like a big creator, like if you have like 400, 500, 600, 700 people going in and asking you to answer their questions and get some conversation going, you might have that situation where you're like, okay, well, I gotta be selective. Um, and honestly, I would honestly like, even though I'm saying like, this, you couldn't blame me for falling into the trap of being like, oh well, you paid, so I'm answering you, or oh well, you didn't, so I'm not gonna, fuck off, you know. So you can't blame me for falling into the trap if that ever happened. But at the same time, I'm a little bit more cognizant about that because I know there's a lot of interesting conversation regardless of whether you paid or not. And there's a lot of people out there who will literally pay to troll you, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I'll accept your money and everything, but why you gotta be so mean? I don't know, man. That would be my kind of thing, if I ever got that big type of thing. Yeah. Uh, I don't know, because that kind of stuff matters to me. I'd rather not, deal with that kind of thing. I know some people thrive off that sort of thing, but for me, it just doesn't. It doesn't do anything good for me. Yeah. It causes me problems. So whether you paid or you didn't pay to give me your question or to post something
You remove a copper skillet from a lit stir.
I'm still gonna do my best to answer you because
Cooked
I
meat.
feel like that
Ingredient.
should be
Ingredient.
a standard, a standard a thing, because there's a lot of people out there who will literally, oh, well, you didn't pay to have your message up there. Okay, well, I'm not gonna give you the time of day. I'm just gonna ignore you like I didn't see your message at all. Okay, well, maybe you didn't see my message, but maybe you did though, and you just like, okay, well, he didn't pay, so nope. I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me. I would honestly, if I ever get the chance to talk to some creators about this kind of stuff, I would love to know their responses to this kind of question. Because I feel like there's a lot of insight to be gained by these much larger creators and their stuff, as far as that's concerned. I could be completely wrong. I could be oodles wrong. I could be like thousands of times wrong. But I'm pretty sure I'm right to some extent anyway. I don't know. It could be that way. Sorry if I sound like a cactus entering my throat. I don't smoke. Never have, and I never will, because I need my lung capacity, because I play the euphonium. I need the lung capacity for that stuff, so it works out that way for me. So type of thing. So. So it's funny because this thing doesn't actually happen necessarily to me, but even the medium-sized creators, like even the ones who like have let's just say 100 people in their stream, or like 50 people in their stream.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit.
Uh,
Cooked meat. ingredient.
Do you still have that kind of worry that you're sort of just pandering to the donations people or the people who donated, rather than having an interesting conversation with, regardless of those who donated or didn't donate, type of thing? Because you can basically donate for any reason. Or not, it's not like you can. It's not like if you automatically donate, your conversation is a lot more interesting. No, it could be as vapid as as any other post out there, But just because you donated, it means I do have to answer you, So I will answer you. But if you have an interesting conversation or an interesting tidbit to add that could lead into an interesting conversation, who gives a shit if you don't? Yeah, I'll talk to you for as long as you want. We'll continue a conversation for who knows how long, and you might be getting something out of it. I mean, I'm not the most experienced person or, the oldest person, but it doesn't mean I can't provide some insight. So, there is that. That's just my general outlook on things, because I feel like a lot of streamers, especially on Twitch, I'll go on Twitch, and I'll be like, I've been kind of trying to talk to you for the past like 30 minutes, and you didn't answer. You didn't honestly see one of my responses to your question. Like, I know what it scrolls up really fast and everything, but come on, you really not see, my posts, I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I'm like,
ingredient.
especially on Twitch, I'm like, okay, well, I just wanted to have a nice, interesting thing. We talk, you stream, you play games, and we have a good conversation. Now, every once in a while, I'll have that. So every once in a while, I'll talk to a streamer, and it'll work out. But I would say like a good 75 to 90% of the time, it doesn't work out that way. Like, most of the time, they don't even answer those who paid to get their answer on, or their question on. They just ignore them outright. Like, if you're gonna ignore those who paid to have them, have their questions, out there for the public to see, and have you as a streamer respond to them, if you're just gonna ignore those people, like, I don't know how you're making your money. I don't know how you're making your revenue, because half the time you're ignoring the people who actually paid to see your to put their questions out there, put their comments out there. That's kind of me. Like, that's just me. That's my own opinion on the whole thing. Like, that's a pretty asshole move. If they paid, you are kind of obligated to answer. I'm not saying if they didn't pay that you're also not obligated there, because they did come to your stream. They could go anywhere else. They could literally go anywhere else to watch very similar content, if not the same content. But they went to you, and so you do as a streamer have a duty to answer as much as you can. That's just my outlook on the whole thing. I could be wrong. I literally could be wrong, because I'm not a big creator. I'm not a huge creator.
Ingredient.
All I am is just a small streamer, just doing this on the side type of thing. And I'm like, if I could, if I gave it a shot to be a big streamer, not that I will necessarily, but if I did, I would hope that I am even slightly better at answering people's questions, or giving people some genuine things to think about while I am streaming games, and stuff, because I want people to come in, have a good conversation with me, and just have a good time. That's really what it's all about. The game for me, especially while I'm streaming, is sort of a background thing. Because I mean, I like the game, don't get me wrong. I want to win, I want to be good at the game. But for me, it's about getting a person out there on a text platform, to come in and chat with me and have a nice conversation. Uh, it's for me, it's about going in and interacting with people, socializing with people, and getting the opinions out there. But for a lot of streamers, it's just about the game, and I get it. I totally get it. 'Cause, I mean, people want to be good at the game, especially those who are professional, like who are like really good at fighting games. Let's say, for example, like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or whatever. For those guys, okay, I can excuse you because you're spending. This is literally your career. Like literally your career. It's not like, oh well, I'm just doing this for fun. No, this is your literal job. This is like a 9 to 5, probably more than 9 to 5 job.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven, cook seared meat in brief.
More than likely, it's like a multi-hour job, almost no sleep type of thing, especially in the beginning. But I would say, I mean, for those people, unless you're like a professional YouTuber, like unless you're a professional like creator, unless you're a professional, let's see, like a game enthusiast or a game player or something. Maybe you play a specific game and you want to be focused on that game while you stream. Obviously, like let's say Tetris, for instance. There's a lot of good Tetris players who need to focus on the game while they're playing, and they can't really talk to anyone while they're doing it. Because I understand, because Tetris is one of those games that is very, very oriented on focusing for extended periods of time. But unless you're that kind of unless you need that kind of focus, unless you need that sort of mental focus to make it work, you basically have no excuse not to answer as much as you can, regardless of whether they paid or did not pay. Because if you don't have to focus as much, you can focus on answering people's questions and honestly having a good conversation, like genuinely having a good conversation with people. Because that is what this is all about. People want to interact. People want to feel like they're going in to a streamer's experiences, a streamer's thing, or some kind of facsimile of what they're going through and all that kind of stuff. Even if it is a little bit larger than life. And they want to do that while they play games. And I totally get it.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and set it aside to cook seared meat in brief.
So, I know those are my opinions on the whole ordeal or the whole thing. Because I feel like a lot of people are in the different camp, like, oh well, if you paid, then of course you're gonna get answered. But if you didn't pay, well, you didn't really work hard to pay me for giving you my advice, answering your question. And I feel like that's wrong in a lot of ways. So, because we don't know the people who decide not to pay. We don't know the people who, for some odd reason, might say, "Oh well, I can't because I have family to feed."
Hamburger less smooth coffee greater
I can't pay this $4.99 because I have a baby to feed, or I have to get formula for my baby, or I have to get diapers for my baby. Well, we don't know. Maybe I have a serious medical condition, and I'm saving up all my money to get a good doctor who might be able to help me, with a disease, or maybe, I'm in the hospital and I'm terminally ill and I can't pay you to get my question out there. I'm just trying to enjoy myself before I die. Any one of those scenarios could probably has happened in some level to be true. We just don't know. We don't know the person behind the screen who's asking their question and hoping for an answer, or who is asking for advice and would like advice on something, or who genuinely wants to give you a good conversation. We just don't know the other person on the other end.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy.
So I feel
Cooked
like
seared meat. Ingredient.
it's important not to prioritize, you know, solely on whether they paid or not. Now I agree that there is some slight bit of there is some expectation, you know, or some kind of obligation because they paid money. You know, money is value. So of course, if you're paying money, I'm going to answer you first. But if you didn't pay money, it doesn't mean I'm not going to answer you. It just means I might be a little bit. I might do it like, oh, maybe second or so. But it doesn't mean I won't answer you with as much fervor.
A bell tolls one time, signaling the time of day.
I won't make an effort for you to speak your mind and get something out there. It just means it'll be a little bit of time before I can, because I'm answering the other person first. Because the obligation is there, the standard is there. You know, and stuff. So that's my view on the whole thing. You know, but I don't know. I could be wrong. If I ever become as big as like some of these YouTubers, and I have like hundreds of people watching my stream, I have like 600 people watching my stream, I might change my tune. I honestly might change my tune. I could be okay. Well, I got like 700 people on my stream. If you didn't pay, I'm sorry, but you didn't. You know, you didn't pay, so I don't have the time for you. Or since you did pay, well, of course you're gonna get the royal treatment, since there's 600 people there, and I've gotta prioritize. But I don't know. I feel like that's pretty mean. I feel like that's honestly mean, and that's out of character for out of a decent moral character. I feel.
Ingredient.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me. It just doesn't seem genuine to me. And for me, it's about interacting with people, and there are benefits to both. There are benefits to both approaches. I don't know. I feel like if you have to pay to get your answer to your question or your piece of advice, you know, then the standard will be that, okay, we'll have to pay, so I make more. But you know, I don't know. There's a cost to it. There's a cost of a genuine desire for an answer, or a genuine answer to a question. That's just, you know, it's like, okay, well, you paid, so it's not really very genuine. Okay, you do have that argument there, or you could say to have that argument. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I don't know. My point is, like, look, if you're going to go in and talk to me and give me your time to get a good answer from me, even if it's not the right answer, I could be wrong. I'm young. I literally don't know everything. I know that much. I don't know everything. You know, but what I do know is that I can hopefully. If you have an answer to my question, I can give it to you, then I'll give it to you.
Hamburg and less spider cat breaker UFO.
So, I mean, that's my whole thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. I literally could be wrong. And I understand if I am wrong, because I don't know.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and set it. Ingredient.
A lot of these large creators you know, like to do that former thing. And I'm not really bashing them. I'm not trying to bash them, because, you know, I'm not jealous or anything. You know, if I get there, then I'll get there. If I don't, well, okay, I won't. But just you know, from my perspective, I'd say, you know, at least I would say now. I might change my mind, but now I'd say it's very important for viewers to express their views, you know, regardless of whether they paid or not. But I just know, I don't know, when I go to a stream with like 700 people, 800 people, even 1,000 people or whatever watching the stream, I feel kind of a little disappointed. I feel disappointed whenever I had a good thought, whenever I had a great thought, and they just didn't see it. They just didn't see it for whatever reason. Maybe the shadow was obstructing the screen. Maybe the contrast wasn't big enough. Maybe the text wasn't big enough. They just didn't see my name among those other names. But I feel like if that were the case, they probably would have said something. But because they didn't, they just don't care. So I mean, for me, it's very different in that kind of a way, you know. But I could change my mind for all I know. I just don't know. Now with that, I'm going to continue cooking this. This should be done in a while. It'll be a while. It does take a long time to cook this stuff. It's not an easy process. So we'll see. We will see how it goes as I continue. So if any of you guys have anything,
You remove a copper skillet from a lid.
anyone out there have anything to chat, do contact me through here. I'll get your chat, and I'll respond to you.
Blank. Cooked seared meat. Ingredient. Number 2 star guest cat just logged in. Called it.
Ah, we got a lot of people logging in. That's a good population boost there. That's decent. All right.
Number 2 star guest cat just logged out. Abil arrives.
Damn it! I hate when people arrive
Abil nods to you.
and they cook stuff.
Blank. You nod to Abil in greeting.
It's never fun when they do that because then our skills got mixed up and there's no way to label them. So it kind of sucks whenever that happens.
Abil removes a plain copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and hands it over to an appreciative cooking staff member. You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper grease cooked seared meat. Ingredients. Meat.
I mean, that's just me. A lot of people like to interact with these when you come into the kitchen. But for me, it's more of a hindrance. Because most of the time when I
Abil removes a plain copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper.
cook, it does get mixed up, and oftentimes I'll have like the meat missing, and I'm like, where the hell did my meat go? And I'm like, oh, I mixed it up with someone else's. Crap.
Number game lesson at Breaker. My brother just got a salt lamp and he made me taste one of the stones on top of it. It was one of the most disgusting things I have ever done. Very, very salty. You're welcome.
Well, that's just me though. Whenever I like to cook, I like to do it alone.
Abil removes a plain copper skillet from a lit.
Like people mixing up my stuff. I don't like whenever I get stuff mixed up because people are careless.
Ray, a sky blue entity quietly asks, sorry for the delay. Should I meet you both there? Three 08 p.m.
Just continuing the conversation here. Okay, so I've been getting into something now. I've been into this for a while. I've been getting a DCI for quite a while now. Like, for those who don't know, it's like it's a drum corps type thing, marching band. Um, it's not something I ever did.
Toxic meat. Ingredient.
Because I wasn't good enough to get in. You have to be really good to get up there. But I never did it, but I do love listening to it. Most of the stuff I do, I really get into the music. It's very nice. But now the thing I wanted to point out is there's so much contrast between 1972 and the latest Trump Corps stuff, which is 2023. I'm like, wow, there's so much of a contrast. Like, literally, I listened to the 1972 championship Anaheim Kingsmen, and I'm like, what? How is this? I mean, this stuff is so interesting to me because there's so much of a contrast. 2023 was very artistic, and I'm like, that's really cool. I mean, I didn't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I definitely didn't hate it because I don't know. I feel like a lot of the older crowd and a lot of the younger crowd, like a lot of the 30-year-olds or whatever, people kind of older than me, and the people who are like 19 and 20 who are into this kind of stuff, they kind of hate it. They're like, oh well, I love the 2000s drum corps. This is kind of stuff is too artistic. There's too much dancing. There's too much story lines. There's too much. They particularly dislike the electronics and stuff, and I'm like, well, okay, but if it presents a good story, then who cares if there's electronics? Who cares if there's a person speaking to you? I particularly enjoyed the 2022 Blue Coats. It was a good story.
Ingredient.
And the reason it was a good story is because there was a great narrator who explained everything to you. And it was almost like having audio description in a movie. And I'm like, wow, I can actually follow this. And I'm like, why does everyone hate the narration? It's an accessibility feature. At least for me it is. Because there is no one describing this stuff to me. There's no one saying, oh, well, this is what's happening. This is, these are the formations that the people are doing. These are the props. There's no one saying any of that stuff to me. There's no one giving me any sort of idea what's going on. So all I have to go off of is the narration and the music. And if there's no narration there, how am I going to know what's going on? So this modern drum corps stuff with the narration, the electronics, all that kind of stuff, has always been for me, I think, a source of invention. I don't know. It's always been a source of some kind of new frontier for me. I don't know. Because I can finally follow along with the shows. Now, for me, with the music, now, there's a lot of changes and things like that. Like 1972 to 2023, the music is so different. It's a lot like nowadays the music is a lot more obscure, or at least obscure to me. But it's a lot more obscure. I have to kind of know what I'm listening to, or even if I don't know what I'm listening to, it's most of the time stuff that I don't really recognize, but I don't hate. But the 1972 stuff, I know what all that stuff is, or most of it. And the stuff I don't know, I really enjoy. But there was a lot more stuff that I did know than I didn't know.
Ingredients.
And for me, having a song out there that's familiar, that's everyone has heard of, that's really cool to have in a show like this. That's really cool to have in a drum corps show. So I honestly wish they'd kind of step back from the more obscure songs and the more obscure stuff, and go back to their roots and be like, okay, well these are familiar songs everyone knows. Let's put a show in there that people will love for the familiarity of the songs. It's why I liked the Beatles Blue Coats show in 2019. I'm not a fan of the Beatles because I don't really listen to that kind of music, but I did know a lot of the songs, and I'm like, wow, they're pretty good, like a Beatles type show People recognize the songs. People honestly, you could honestly sing along with the show. Like you would be able to pick out snippets of the lyrics from the show, or from the actual songs, and sing along to the actual, uh, you know, show if you wanted to, you know, because the songs are so familiar. I'm not that much of a big, I'm not that much of a Beatles fan, but for those Beatles fans out there, who like the Beatles, who love the Beatles, who memorized all the lyrics, they could honestly pick out snippets of the lyrics and sing along to this whole show, because the show is so well focused on the Beatles that it's just okay. Well, this is so familiar to me, and I love the familiarity. But a lot of the shows nowadays are stuff that's pretty obscure. I'm like, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I really do love it because I listen to new music. I get to listen to new things that I've never heard of before, and that is so awesome. But at the same time, I'm like, can we put in a familiar show,
Ingredient.
with electronics and all that kind of stuff, narration, electronics, familiar songs, and good music, and be like, can you put on a show like that? Can you make an entertaining show with familiar songs everyone knows, a little bit of narration so that I can follow along, and some electronics so that I can follow along as well? Because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the marching is. I can't comment on the marching. I really wish I could. Can they make? Can they have audio description company go in to the DCI finals, semifinals, and prelims and be like, can you describe what's going on for these people? Because these people need to know what's going on. And they would really like to know what's going on. There are blind fans out there. There are people out there who are fans of DCI who would really love to have audio description. And I genuinely, okay, I paid $29 to see the prelim or the finals for DCI. Now, I have no regrets because it was great. But you know what would have made it better? Audio description for the actual shows themselves. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what props are there on the field. I want to know the formations that these kids are going in and literally making happen. Because I hear so much about how fancy they are. I'll have people literally talking to me afterwards, and I'm like, they'll tell me, like, these props are so fancy. These props are super fancy.
Output. Backup places some top playlist into a small backup in table HTTP number BBS feedless BBS rent trigger general discussion brief for humor. Clok then.
And they'll say things like, oh, this was the best formation. And they'll be like, this is the most memorable formation. And sometimes they'll describe it to me. But more often than not, I'll be like, oh, well, okay, I guess. But I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way. I want to be the person who knows exactly what they're talking about. Like, okay, well, I know exactly the part you're talking about. During this part of the song when they do this formation. Or when they bring out this prop in the middle of the song. Or when they do their ballad formations. Maybe when they... maybe at the end, when the formation, ends and they have their little thing at the end, just like a flourish or something. I want to be that person who knows exactly what's going on, but I can't because there's no audio description in DCI. I really want this. I don't know who I can get in contact with to get this. Going. I don't know. It will probably cost a lot of money and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I'm not sure if that ever will happen or not. But believe me, I would love if a company, if an audio description company, went to DCI, the prelims, the semifinals, and the finals, and described what was going on in the field. I want to know what's happening before they even start the actual show. Because there'll be pre-show music and stuff, and I'm guessing there's pre-show and props and stuff like that. Maybe there's pre-show video. Maybe there's pre-show, animation video and all that kind of stuff. Maybe there's electronics out there that are set up for this kind of show. But I have no idea. All I hear is the music. And while I love the music, I know most of the drum corps stuff is all about the art and all about the visuals. And as much as I love the music, I want to be generally affected too. General effect is the biggest category in DCI, but how am I going to be generally affected if I have no idea what the hell's going on? You know, I really want to know what's going on. I want to be a part of the experience. I I want to be a part of the. I want to cheer for something that everyone else is cheering for, and I know exactly what's going on because they tell me. Because they gave me some clues as to what's going on. Maybe it goes a little bit too fast for me to know everything, but the fact that they're describing it makes it a lot better. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to get a description going because the quick nature, the fast-paced nature of this kind of stuff. Maybe it's because it's not, you can't really script it type of thing. You can't write a script for this kind of stuff. But if there is one thing that the DCI people can improve on, it's having some kind of description out there. Because there's a lot of blind people who would really genuinely be into DCI, who love great music, who would appreciate what the visuals are around the music. Because, I don't know, there's some great stuff out there that I've heard about with these shows that I'll never get to see myself, because obviously I can't see anything. So to have that there would be absolutely amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. Like, for me to get the full experience of having the show music being played while having an audio description there to describe what's going on. And I know they can't see everything, but give them the best spot. Give them the best seating arrangement so they can see everything. So they can see everything that's going on and tell me what's going on. And not just me. These should be like live things that, there should be a version. There should be like a version of the thing that's put out there for people who need this stuff. It's an accommodation. It's an accessibility aid. Audio description is a way for people to get as much as they can out of whatever they're watching. And for a person who paid $29, like the rest of everyone else who watches this stuff online, I want my full experience. I paid money. So if I pay money, I want my full experience. And so, if it's me going in, paying money to watch these shows, give me some kind of experience, give me some sort of description as to what's going on, because I really want to know. I really want to know. Those are just my thoughts on the whole thing, because I'm a huge fan of DCI. I've been a huge fan for a long time. Since 2014. Really, honestly, I was introduced to it the first year of high school. For me, first year of high school for me was about 2013 or so. 2013, 2014. I don't know. But for me, it was a great time for me. I don't know. When I heard about this stuff, I was hooked so hard because I listened to the music. I listened to the Blue Devils, the Carolina Crown, the Santa Clara Vanguard, Phantom Regiment. All of those corps play. And I always wanted to know what was going on, because some of these shows are legendary shows. Some of these shows people still remember. But I want to know why they remember them. What is so good about these shows that people remember about them? Is it the music? Okay, yes, it is partially the music. And I really love the music. some of the stuff I have in my head. I know most of the time. But if you're a person who likes drum corps for the visuals, then it's the visuals that you'll remember. But I'm not going to know any of that kind of stuff because it's not described to me. And I want that experience.
Ingredient.
And a whole bunch of people I know that really want that experience. Out there who really wanna have a good experience watching something they love, something they're passionate about. I may not have done DCI, but I am still passionate about the activity because the people out there work their butts off to make it happen. I don't know how hard it is to do DCI, but I am in marching band, and if it's anything like marching band, it's hard. I guess it's not easy. I did marching band for high school, and I'm doing it now for college. And sitting in that hot, standing in that hot weather, 90 degrees, 80 degrees, probably 95 or whatever degrees out there for hours and hours. Believe me, hours and hours. It really is that way. For hours and hours, for the whole summer, and I mean the fall is a little bit better, but most of the summer, a good amount of the summer, that has to be hard. So, I want to appreciate everyone who's going in and working their butts off to make it happen. But I can't really appreciate the marching. I can't really appreciate what those people are doing out there because I can't see them. So to give people a good general way to appreciate that kind of thing, because I really do want to appreciate them, I want to say to myself, these people worked hard, without just making it like a disingenuous statement. I want to appreciate these people for what they actually did on the field. As far as the visuals are concerned. Now, musically, of course, I can appreciate
You remove a copper skillet from a
because I mean that music is not easy stuff.
cooked
It's
meat.
really hard.
Ingredients. Meat. 1 left.
But I want to appreciate them for what they visually do on the field. Why? Because I know how hard it is to march. I do it myself. I've done it myself. But this DCI stuff is like 100 times harder. So, what they're going through the whole season has to be hard. Regardless of whether you're in 12th place or you're in first place. And for me, I feel like if I ever have a chance to get a description of what's going on, hell, I've been willing to pay people to describe this stuff to me, just for fun, just so I can have a good general idea of what's going on. But I want DCI, to have some kind of description at their shows, live description online on flow marching, for instance. Okay, because reason number one, I paid money. I paid hard-earned money to watch this stuff, and I want to get as much as I can out of it. Number two, it'd help a lot of people. There are people out there who I know would really love this stuff if only they knew what was going on in the field. And number three, I feel like it would add a lot more of a base, a fan base for this kind of stuff, because these people work hard. These people work really hard to make this work, and to not have the full experience for me, and for those out there who just can't have the full experience because they can't see what's going on. It I don't know, it devalues it for me. I don't know, it devalues it for me. It makes me feel like, oh well, I only paid enough worth for $15. I should be paying like $14 instead of $29 because I'm not seeing anything.
Cooked meat. Ingredient.
If you're going to charge me $29 for this stuff, give me the full experience. Tell me what's going on in the field. Make me see what's happening on the field. Because those people work hard every day for this kind of stuff. And I recognize that. because I marched myself. I didn't march DCI because I'm not, like I said, I'm not good enough for that. But I marched, and I still do, and it's hard work. So those are just my thoughts on the whole. I don't know. Those, there could be different complications. I understand. There might be different complications and things. It might just be too fast for them to describe everything. It could be that the whole, it just costs too much money. But it doesn't have to be for the whole season. Just finals and semifinals and prelims. Especially if you're doing this in theaters, because I know a lot of the Jump Force, they like to post their stuff on they like to post their like prelims and semifinals performances in theaters. If you're doing it in theaters, could you have an audio description track, or some kind of audio description that's live for those out there who can't see and really want to have the same experience everyone else is having? Is that a possibility? I don't know. It could be a possibility. I don't know. I might bring this to some attention. I might bring this to attention. I might contact Reddit. I might post this out there. Now, I don't know what kind of response I'll get, but I'm definitely curious what the possibility is there. Because I don't know. I feel like this should be a thing. Especially nowadays in 2024, where a lot of things are starting to become, like audio description in general, is starting to become a less of a luxury and more of a standard, which I like. I really do like. New content these days is kind of a standard audio describe. Not like back then. Not like back in the 2000s, where you had like barely any people out there describing anything, or barely any audio description tracks. You were lucky to find one if you had a DVD, or hell, even a VCR. You're probably not going to find anything like that, unless it was a special tape of the same film. But I don't know. I feel like a live performance like DCI could totally be described in that kind of a way. Even if I have to go back later and listen to the music and all that without the audio description, even if I have to go back later and listen to the music without the audio description, because it's a little bit, it has to duck a little bit. There's audio ducking. I understand. Even if I have to go back later and listen to the music, I'll do that. But please give me the chance to know what's going on the field, and give me the opportunity to know what's happening. Because I'm here, a paying customer, literally a paying customer, who's paying a business to allow me to watch the DCI finals, the DCI prelims, the DCI semifinals, and all that kind of stuff. So give me the opportunity to know what's going on in the field, so I can have the same experience everyone else is paying for. Everyone else is paying for it. It's not like we're getting it for free. It's not like we're sitting here being like, oh, I want this for free. No, I'm paying the same price everyone else is.
Ingredient.
So if I'm paying the same $29, that's the same $29 everyone else is paying, to watch these prelims, semifinals, and finals. I want a $29 experience. And a $29 experience has audio description in it. Netflix, you're paying $23 a month. And do you know what you get? You get shows with audio description. You get shows you get shows that have these audio described tracks, so that we can watch these shows, so we know what's going on. If we're paying more than Netflix to watch these finals, I want an equal experience. But that's just my view. I don't know. I'm gonna bring this up to Reddit. And I'm just saying it publicly here because I know there might be a person out there who sees this. who genuinely wants to see this, or watch this stream and whatever, and get my thoughts on the whole situation, because I'm here wanting this so much.
Number 10 less move coffee greater TC.
If I could, I would literally pay people to describe the DCI finals from 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, 2022, and 2023. And if you could, 1972 to 2013. Come on. If I could, I would love.
Cooked meat. Ingredient. Ingredient.
But given that there hasn't been anything like this ever, 2024 and up is fine. If it would be absolutely amazing. But that's just me. I've rambled too much on this, but that's just me. Those are my thoughts, and I'll probably write this down somewhere too. I don't even know how many of these I've cooked. It's been like 2 hours probably by now. Let's actually see how many of these I cooked.
You have the following matching items. A chunk of raw deer meat in a roast livered kin satchel open X6. Some seared deer meat in a roast livered kin satchel open X16. Some seared deer meat in a lavish gold suede backpack adorned with small diamonds open X17. Some seared deer meat in a roast livered kin satchel open X3. In total, you have 42 matching items.
Oh wow! I literally have 6 to go. Well, okay. Let's talk about something else. Okay. So I know a lot of people hate Mortal Kombat 1. I'm one of those people who really loves the game, and it's not just because of the accessibility, even though that's a big part of it. I mean, I can't deny that this is the game that I can finally play all by myself, without having to memorize the menus, without having to memorize the combinations for fatalities, without having to memorize the requirements for brutalities, without having to guess at the frame data, for instance, or the damage output that a combo will put out, without having to go through every menu just to find what I'm looking for.
Count meat. You have the count cooked meat in meat.
And most importantly, being able to play online, even though I don't do that very much, with people, get on the online servers, and do that all by myself. It's an independent experience that I really love, honestly. It's one of the things I look forward to, playing Mortal Kombat, even though I understand why people don't like it that much, because it sort of feels a little bit RPG-esque and everything. I get it, but honestly, for me, I love Mortal Kombat 1. It's a great game, and there's a lot of great characters. The guest characters are great. Peacemaker is great. Homelander is okay. Omni-Man is the best. Honestly, Omni-Man is the best, in my opinion. Omni-Man is his moveset is so nice. His big punches, his abilities are very nice. His Viltrumite stance, for instance, so fun, so great. And honestly, it's just a great game. Now, it's funny. I used to be a General Shao main, because General Shao has a great moves, like his axe and stuff. His ability to, use an axe or just use unarmed. It's so nice to to be able to get in and fight, and then just go back in distance and just be able to work it. But Johnny Cage has a great moveset, especially with the hype meter and everything. It just works so well. You're able to do this, these really fancy moves, and you get cheered along the way by a group of people, your fan base. I don't know. I feel pretty pretty good whenever I play Johnny Cage because you basically have a crowd cheering for you while you're fighting, and that's great. That's just great for me anyway. Even if it is like a fake pretend crowd or whatever, but who cares? The sound is nice, and Johnny Cage is a great character. Um, Also, I love that lore-wise, he's the one who actually makes Mortal Kombat. The games and the movies and all that stuff to tell the Earth Realm the truth of Earth Realm, of Outworld. That's great. I love that lore there. That's great lore. But some other characters are great. Like Katana is great. Her fans are really cool. It's not something I pay attention to very much. Um, at least I didn't before this game.
Number game less address in greater. Okay, so this one I just tried. Normally I'd type climb F. I type jump.
Those fans are nice. Like those, they do like really cool stuff. Um, I don't know. I love them. The sound is nice. It sounds like fans. It doesn't sound very intimidating at first, but like once you use them, they're really interesting. I don't know. I like them. Kung Lao's hat. I gotta tell you, I do like it. It's very fun to throw around and stuff. But I'm not really a Kung Lao fan, just because he doesn't really use it that much. Like he uses it for some moves, but most of his moves are just the regular kicks and stuff.
Ingredient.
Why aren't you using your hat for every move? If you have the hat, you might as well use it. But no, he doesn't really use it for that many moves. And that's a little bit disappointing to me, honestly. I don't like it that much. Quan Chi. His magic is super nice. Like, his magic is, like, so cool. His fatality, where he puts out the pane of glass that, like, goes through the opponent, that's so cool. Like, the idea of glass being the weapon that you use to kill someone, that's kind of an interesting creative thing. I've never would have thought that glass would be the thing that he uses, but it works out really well for him. I never thought of glass as a suitable type of a thing, but it works out really well though in the fatality. Uh, um, his moves are really cool. I've actually unlocked several brutalities and stuff, and I really do like the blood portal brutality. That is my favorite, even after noticing the other brutalities that other characters have. I think the blood portal is my favorite, or portal of blood is my favorite. That's my favorite brutality out of the whole thing. Um, so generally speaking, I say, for right now, I'm a Johnny Cage main because I do like Johnny Cage. His moveset is very nice. He's a brawler, he just gets in, he can, his meter is so nice, his height meter and all that. Great stuff. And so, I don't know. Mortal Kombat 1 for me has been a great game. I really enjoyed it. It's been a game that I come back to every time, and it really resonates with me in a nice way. It feels a lot more peaceful than previous Mortal Kombat games. The music is nice, kinda nice. It's not really fighting music though. At least I don't consider it fighting music. I don't know. It's not as rock centric as the other Mortal Kombat games. So that's a little bit disappointing because I'm much more like if you're gonna fight to the death, it should be set to something a little bit more, heavy metal-esque or some kind of thing. But I don't know. The music is okay. Honestly, normally what I do is I actually don't fight with the music on. What I'll do is I have Apple Music, and I'll just play with my own music. Like this feels so nice to play with, like the fight with your characters while like a good song is playing, and that's like, wow, it makes all the difference. It really does. But that's just me, though. That's just me. I just don't hate. I don't hate the music, but it feels a little bit more peaceful than it should. Mortal Kombat is supposed to be a game with blood and guts and stuff, and I'm like, okay, the music is nice, but I'd rather play with my own music just because it sounds a lot tougher. There's a lot more. There was a gritty nature to Mortal Kombat music in the previous games. There was a lot more, rock and stuff centered to it, the whole thing. And nowadays, it's just kind of a little too soft. Honestly, it's a little too soft for me. Yeah. But that's just me, though. That's the gripe I would make, and it really is a big gripe because I just don't.
Ingredients.
I don't know. I just don't appreciate it that much. And it could just be me, though. It could just be me. I could be taking it a little bit too out of proportion, that kind of stuff. I can't comment on the graphics, but I hear they look really nice. I hear it's the best looking ever. It's the best Mortal Kombat graphics ever created. I've heard this from a good amount of people. They all say the same thing. They're like, yeah. Especially in 4K, this is the best Mortal Kombat ever made, as far as graphics are concerned. If you're like a graphics nut and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, you're pretty amazed at the graphics in Mortal Kombat. I would say for me, the best part about Mortal Kombat now is the audio description for fatalities. I finally know what's going on with fatalities, and it's so satisfying to know what's going on. I can talk to people about fatalities now without being awkward about it. Without being like, oh, this actually happens? No, I actually know what happens now. And it's so nice to be able to
carrying a short sword.
It's nice to be able to talk to people and get a good sense of what's happening. Because I know finally what's going on. I don't know. It's very nice, and it's very like cool for me. I don't know. It brings me the full experience, like I was talking about before. It brings me the full experience. I've actually paid for the premium edition. I got it on sale, but I paid $89 for it.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and
I feel like finally I'm getting a $90 experience.
Ingredients.
As it should be. As it should be.
Output edit here when it's done. Clok blank.
And so finally, with all of the audio description, all of the accessibility features, I can play every mode, including invasions, which is really nice. I finally have the $90 experience I paid for. Because I've been paying for Mortal Kombat games for a while. I've had Mortal Kombat X, I had Mortal Kombat 11, but I honestly didn't feel like I got that much out of them because half the time the modes weren't accessible, crypt wasn't doable, story mode was there, it was great, story mode was great, in 11 and X and everything, but man, story mode of Mortal Kombat 1, just because of the way that it was done, because of the accessibility features, it just made things a lot more a lot more enjoyable. I don't know. The idea of being able to have a description there of what's going on, what the characters were, their facial expressions and all, their weaponry, and the way that they used it, during the scene.
I've removed the copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and set it aside to cool.
And all that stuff. That was the kind of stuff that I really enjoyed. I love, going in there.
I've removed the copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and set it aside to cool.
I love knowing what's going on. But that's just me. That's just me.
I've removed the copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and set it aside to cool.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who really love knowing what's happening. And it's probably just not just me.
You remove a copper skillet from a lit sturdy copper oven and set it aside to cool. I've removed cooked seared meat. Ingredients. Meat 0/1. You seem to be missing some ingredients. You take some seared meat from a copper skillet empty and put it into your... You pick up a copper skillet empty and put it into your lapis lace gold suede backpack adorn. You have out hearth and... You have out shad. You have east shad guard. You consider... You sell the following items. Some seared deer meat X39, some seared bear meat X3 plus 3,150 real. Stove in your drawstring livered skin satchel open.
Now that's more like it. 3150.
You consider selling the following. A rotonid reindeer pelt at 3. You sell your rotonid. Oops, that's command at 6. You have 3,461 real.
And we nearly got 3,500 real. That is great.
Minus 3,461 real taken from your drawstring livered skin satchel open. You deposit 3,461 real into your Shadguard mining bank account, bringing your balance to 8,398.
Yay! Nearly at 10,000 real. That's great.
You have out. You have east.
Honestly,
you have
I
sit
think
down on the bar
this is
too.
where I'm gonna end the stream. We've made some great progress. I may or may not do this again. I love streaming Clok, but I know a lot of people don't like seeing it,
No button.
so it's kind of a little.
Live chat dialog clock is back.
It's a little bit strange. You
OBS.
Let's see
Start virtual cam. Start recording. Stop streaming chat.
a stream like this and be like, oh well, I didn't really get anything out of it because I didn't see anything, except for like scrolling text and all that. But I don't know. I like streaming Clok. It's very fun. I've done it before. It reminds me of the past. It gives me nostalgia, and so I love doing it. I might or may not do this again. Next time, probably Minecraft. So before I go, I just wanted to thank you all for watching. For those who watch this, or for those who will watch this at some point, I very much appreciate it.
Stop streaming chat.
You all have a fabulous day.